Yeah, mother bitch.
In Russia, motherfuck you. What?
Well, welcome to the show, everyone.
Yeah, I know we're recording, but they don't talk like that. That's racist and prejudice. That's so rude. Who would assume that? Hey guys,
Hi.
it's been a while.
It has been a while.
It's been a minute, but you know what? Yeah. But you know what?
So,
It'd be like that sometimes. Sometimes we had some crazy stuff going on, but what matters is we're back here now,
yes.
and we're drinking this amazing. Did we name it? Oh,
I'm a Barbie girl.
yeah, the I'm a Barbie girl drink that Jasmine came up with, and it's amazing. This
I actually quite like it. It's quite refreshing. I might be making some more of these. Maybe I'll do another drink video for it.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna have our $100 one, so
Mhm.
check that out. Whenever.
No, yeah, this is
get it done.
amazing. Yeah, this is amazing. I definitely it's like one of my top favorite drinks
that we've made.
that we've made.
Yeah, I like
This one's fun.
I was gonna show you guys all the glitter that's in there, but it sank to the bottom.
Yeah,
Like, you
kind
can
of.
see it's right here. It's very luminescent at the bottom. But I can't. I'm trying to swirl it, but I don't want to swirl. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of mad about it. The fact that I'm recording my video today using my phone because the OBS was being a dick. But I'm not gonna lie. It looks real nice.
Okay, then, yeah. See.
It looks real
Okay.
nice, but I don't want it.
Yeah, it's tough. I get it.
Very strange for me not having my.
Yeah,
phone
no,
in right now.
no, that's how. So this is how some inside baseball. So we recorded a good amount of the first of the shows that we did, where I had to use my iPhone as my camera. And honestly, it does suck not having your phone because if you need to look something up or whatever, it's right. Like it's yeah.
Yeah, sorry,
No,
they're
you're
still
cool.
listening to you. I'm not.
Yeah. But I think not having your phone is just so uncomfortable nowadays. So yeah, I understand your pain. Yeah. No, for sure.
So then all of a sudden when you don't have it, you're just kind of like, what do I do?
Agreed.
Like,
Yeah, I understand.
Okay.
Anyways, so much has happened since our last episode. So I think this is gonna be a little bit of a random episode, but it's fine. I like this. I know. It's cool. It's cool. I got you. Don't even worry about it. We'll get through this together. It's gonna be a good time. We're gonna start out with something that's breaking into my heart because I love this movie and it's not doing well in theaters, which I don't really understand why. I've seen it twice. No, it's cool. Yeah, do your thing. Yeah. Yeah, it's epic. The Flash
Oh, the Flash.
is going to lose $200 million at the box office,
Sounds about right.
which sucks because the movie costed $200 million to make. And this is the thing. I watched it with high hopes. With high hopes. James Gunn hyped this movie up
Yeah.
so much. I'm a huge James Gunn fan. Ezra Miller, yes.
Okay.
So this is the thing. So he went through all that controversy, becoming a cult leader, doing terrible things, and they basically that's what happened.
Oh, okay.
And so yeah, right. So Warner Brothers basically said they made him sign a contract saying like, "Shut up, you can't say shit. You're not allowed to say anything. What you wanna say anything? No, you shut your mouth right now." And he couldn't speak for like months before the preview because they're like, "You're gonna fuck this up for everyone." And so
They should do that with Tom Holland.
oh, I know. Just because splitting Marvel secrets everywhere you go.
Yeah.
So he basically agreed because this movie, I feel, saved his career. Legitimately, I was like, is locking people in a hotel and converting them to your cult that bad? Like, that's how much I loved this movie. I was like R. Kellying it. I was like, did he really do all those terrible things? But he did, so it sucks. So I'm watching this movie. From the get-go, scene one, super charming, funny. It's action right off the bat, right off the bat. I don't know however you say it. And Ezra Miller, Flash, and Batman are doing their thing together. Like it was really cool to see them both.
Who plays Batman in this one?
Multiple Batman.
Okay, so we got multiverse Batman.
Multiverse Batman.
Okay, got it.
So we start off with Ben Affleck, Batman.
One of my favorites.
Right? It was great. And so as
He's actually an intelligent human being.
yes.
And has a voice changer.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I mean, he's
They're fine.
great also. I just
Yeah.
think he has a great, like, persona
No, for sure.
for Batman.
Yeah.
And for Bruce Wayne. I
Yes.
said Clark Kent, and I was like, that is incorrect,
Yeah.
ma'am.
No.
But I just feel like he has it. He
Yeah.
has both sides to me. Like,
Yeah.
'cause some people can play a really good Batman,
Mhm.
but then other people can play a really good Bruce Wayne.
No,
And it's hard
agreed.
to get somebody who can play both.
Mhm.
And I feel like Ben Affleck really can.
100%.
I feel like he did great.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So, anyways, sorry. That's
So,
a little side note.
We get to see Ben Affleck, Batfleck, sorry.
What is wrong with
I
you
don't know.
today?
I don't.
Words are hard.
So I know I haven't done this in a few weeks. Leave me alone. So we get to see him, like, it's not even just like a little bit of a scene. Like he does a full action sequence hunting bad guys on the Bat motorcycle. Like, it was really fucking cool. And so we see him and Barry interact, and Barry basically says,
Do we get George Clooney? I have to ask. I know the answer, but I'm gonna ask.
"Let me get there." Okay.
All right.
And so Barry basically figured out, I can go back. He accidentally goes back. He starts running so fast that he gets like in this bubble. He runs and everything becomes dark, and then he gets into this bubble and he sees time like around him. Like he sees, like, he goes back to earlier that day when he's saving this hospital while Batman's fighting the bad guys, and he sees all the imagery of everything that's going on, and he can move it forward and backwards, and he kind of gets out of the bubble and realizes, oh shit, if I'm in the bubble, I control where I'm going. If I'm out of the bubble, I'm outside of that. So he's like, he basically tells Batman, I can save my mom, because his mom was murdered. I don't know if you knew that.
No.
No, yeah. So that's like,
You don't want to do that, man. Butterfly effect.
right?
Shit, man.
Right? He doesn't give a fuck. Because basically, I don't know if you know like this portion, but basically, what kind of catalysts Barry into everything that he's doing is that his mom was murdered with no like murder inside of the house. Like, they just found her like stabbed, and the dad comes home, and the dad gets blamed for the murder, and they have no evidence to prove that like he didn't do it, basically. But they know that he.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Storyline. Okay.
So we're at the point where his dad's they like, what is that, when you reapply to change the verdict? Appeal. Yeah, they did the appeal for his verdict, and Batman had cleared up some videotape that was supposed to clear his, like, show that he was at the supermarket. But what happened?
Sorry, I'm
No, we're good.
getting a phone call.
Okay.
Sorry, I have to
Okay.
decline that real quick. Okay, we're good.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, because my phone
Yeah.
popped up. Like, this went away, and I was like, what is happening?
So it was supposed to clear his dad's name, but when they clear the videotape, his dad doesn't ever look up. So you see, like, his hat that he's wearing, you see like him, but you don't see his face clear enough. So they're like, oh, this is not going to do anything for you. So it makes Barry so mad that he goes back in time and he goes to change it. But he like doesn't like, he doesn't really have the whole time travel thing down because it's the first time doing it. So he gets back to his house when he's like, I think like 20, or he changed what happened, first of all. So he changed the whole thing, and then he tries to go back to his regular time when he entered it, and then a black like flash comes in and basically tries to like kill him, but then ends bumping him out of the bubble, and he ends up at his, like, when he's like 20, when he's like should be in college age.
Yeah.
And so he goes home and he's like talking to his parents, like it worked, like his mom is still alive, and he's talking to them, and then his actual self from that timeline comes home at the same time, and they end up bumping into each other, and that's kind of the adventure, is how, like, and then
Hey, me. Hey, you.
Hey.
Spider-Man, me.
yes, 100%.
Who's me?
And as it's happening, what changed is that, you know how Man of Steel, Superman goes up against Zod in that movie? That's the whole thing.
Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah. Henry Cavill. Yep. And
Yeah.
and well, instead of it,
Wait, Henry Cavill's in this movie?
no.
Oh.
But so
You almost had to.
sorry, no, that would have been super cool. I know. I wish originally I guess he was supposed to, but they changed it. So, instead of Superman being there to stop Zod, he's just not. Like, Superman never made it to Earth, basically. So Zod comes to Earth, and,
So his mom has to die in order for us to get Superman.
but kind of, yeah. Like,
Interesting.
there's more to it, but yeah, pretty much. And so when he's trying to move things back so that Zod doesn't kill the whole Earth and there's no one to protect it, he goes and tries to fight Batman, and which he finds Michael Keaton Batman, which was super cool. Like Michael Keaton fucking killed it in this movie. Like honestly, like I had high hopes, but goddamn, he like all the action sequences, all the information, like how he just portrays himself as Bruce Wayne. Because in this time, like Batman fixed Gotham. There's no crime. Like it's yeah. So he's retired. So he comes out of retirement, and you get to see him use all these really cool.
No Joker, no Harley Quinn,
none of it.
Penguin,
None of it.
No, nobody.
No, he fixed it. So he just gets to be a rich dude. He's by himself.
What about Two-Face? What about what's his face?
No, none of it. He just.
No, I mean that's
Well,
what I was
no,
saying. Is Harvey Dent like just Harvey Dent?
I would assume so. Yeah.
He's just out there not working because there's no criminals for him.
Well, there's probably like petty crime, but there's no like, big criminals out there just murdering. Like Joker, just to put it in scale for people who don't really appreciate how much Joker murders, it's like, you know how they bring in fish from the sea on giant boats and they put the net down, you see all those fish come out of the net? That's how much he murders. It's a lot. Like, it's a problem. It's a problem that they have to go to a guy in a bat suit and be like, please, take care of this. Oh my God. We have no policeman. It's just Commissioner Gordon. And he's like 75. Like,
And he's not doing a great job.
No, he's... So, yeah, first, like, honestly, I feel bad for him. So,
His hands full. Poor guy.
so yeah, it's... so yeah, I guess, there's just no crime. So, but Batman comes out of retirement, and it was really cool just to see all the gadgets. You see him have like a part of the cave with multiple bat suits, and like they were like the blue and yellow and gray one, and like one looked like it was like an aqua suit, and like one like it had all these like cool gadgets and stuff. And he had the bat plane from the old school movie. Like it was just really fucking cool if you're a Batman fan. But overall, the movie, I feel, was very entertaining. Like even friends of mine that aren't super into, like they don't keep track of the DCU at all, and they were like, oh no, this was like super fun to watch. And it's like, it wasn't like Thor Love and Thunder. There's times, it is bad. There's times where you're like, they want you to laugh, but it's just not funny. Like,
it was
right?
So cringy that
Yeah, no, it's just like, why did we do this? And this movie didn't feel like that. It, like every time like the laugh was there, it hit. It was funny because he's awkward and like, he just does it right. And everything was great. I honestly wasn't mad about it all. Oh, and then at the very end when he fixes everything, Bruce.
Okay, spoiler alert,
said, "Oh,
everybody. He
okay,
fixes everything."
Oh, okay. And so.
Price is so burdened.
Yeah. And so Bruce calls him and basically says like, Bruce calls him and he basically says, oh yeah, or how did the court thing go? And he's like, oh really well. He's like, cool, well, I'm here. And so he gets out of his really nice car and you're expecting Batfleck and it's George Clooney. It was such a cool way to do it. It was such a cool fucking way to do it. Yeah. Because you don't expect like you.
I'm going to see it now, specifically just for that scene.
Like you see it you hear like, if you're looking for it, when he picks up the phone, you hear Clooney's voice. And you're like, nah. And then he pulls up in the car and then gets out. And he looks gangster as fuck, by the way. Like cleaned up, but old still. But like, like it was like, oh no, this is the Bruce Wayne we didn't get that George Clooney did in the first. Like it was way better. Like it was cool. So I was like, I wonder how they're gonna play it now though in the next movie. Because I truly think this movie saved his career. Like even though they're losing a ton of money, I don't know. I know that had this movie done really fucking well, they were planning a Batman Beyond movie.
Yeah.
Which I was like, that would blow my mind. But they said they're pretty much not going to do it because it didn't do well. And Michael Keaton was going to get a chance to play old man Bruce Wayne, which, again, like, he's more of a general in that sense. And it would have been cool to see that. And a young Batman that he's teaching, But I guess we're not getting that. But they're moving forward with the new Superman movie, which is supposed to kind of reset everything, kind of since Flash reset everything. Everything
I
changed.
understand why Henry got replaced so much because
Yeah.
he's magnificent and.
Well, I just think it's they want to do a younger Superman, which again, he wasn't that old when he did it, but it just came down to the timing of like Zack Snyder's stuff. They needed to put out movies somewhat faster, I feel, but it's just so hard when the movies are these big budget things, and clearly, like, they take so much time to make because of all the effort that goes into it. It's just tough. It's tough.
My only argument is we've had one Wolverine and one Wolverine only.
Yeah.
That man he's getting up there and he is still Wolverine. Okay,
Yeah, no,
that's all.
no, you're not wrong. This is the thing. I was having that not argument, like a discussion with my cousin the other day, because we're getting ready to do a Gargoyles movie, and I'm a true believer in like these movie companies, like, stop messing with it. Like, the original source material is so fucking good, and nobody wants something different. No, I want fucking original spaghetti. I want, you know what I mean? I want the what I watched.
Okay, I don't want your weird cheese.
Yeah. I want your weird long cheese.
So check out the blooper reel. That's not what we're talking about.
But yeah, no, exactly. And that's like, I forget what the other podcast was. I was listening to it was a TikTok clip, but they were like, if Warner Brothers wants to make $1 billion fucking dollars, make Batman the Animated Series a live action. Don't touch it.
Yeah.
Like,
Seriously,
people would freak out. If people, give me all the, I don't, tickets could be literally $50. And I would fucking pay to go see a live action, 1-for-1.
Yes.
Like, you know.
Okay, so that's the same way that I feel about like the Disney movies and the live action remakes of the Disney movies.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be fixed. It's not broken, especially if it's one of your very popular like Disney movies or anything like that. Even if it's not a popular Disney movie, don't touch it. We've obviously
Yeah, you found the golden goose, man. Like,
it's done. Just make it with real people now. Just do the same thing. Just take the same script, same movie, same everything, and just make it real life. And do you know how many people you'd make happy?
right? You make all the money. All the money you're worried about not making, you would make it. Yeah.
Because that's the way I felt when Beauty and the Beast came out. Beauty and the Beast, like, it had just enough changes to where it didn't make me uncomfortable, like, to where I wasn't upset. But, like, it had so many of just those, like, iconic scenes and, like, lines and things and songs that it felt like you were watching the same movie from when you were a kid, except it was now real life, which I loved. Like, one of my all-time favorite scenes, one thing that, like, always sticks out in my brain is when her dad is lost and he doesn't know which way to go, and he's looking down the different paths, and then there's just that really dark, like, path with the gnarled trees over the top, and it's just dark, and it just kind of, like, zooms in on it. They do that in the live action version too, and it just brings all the nostalgia.
Yeah.
And the fact that they just like kind of stopped doing that after Beauty and the Beast, and then just started like, oh, we're just gonna change the movie entirely.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Do you know how upset I was about Aladdin?
No, I'm sure. I get it. No, Aladdin.
That was not.
Yeah.
That was not even a remake. That was them. That was a what's the word that I'm trying to find? It's like a. It's like a play on it. It's not.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
a version of Aladdin. It's not Aladdin.
I wonder, and this is the only reason I kind of give it a little bit of a pass, is because Robin Williams is such a hard character to emulate. Like, you really had to change Genie a little bit to kind of get there. Now, you know what did really upset me is the beginning of the movie, that he's telling the story to his kids, and it's not the salesman telling, because it was so cool. Like, he really sets the tone, and like, it was funny, and it was like a whole thing. So that part, like, things like that kind of bother me too. I related to this. Did you see Ford versus Ferrari?
No. So
the premise of the movie is that they enlist Carroll Shelby, he won a race called Le Mans, and he's only, I believe, one of like 2 Americans that's ever won that race, because it's a 24-hour race. And Ford was about to buy Ferrari, and Ferrari basically like spit in their face and said, like, fuck you, we're not selling our car company to like you guys, basically. Like, it was just a ploy to like tell them to fuck off. And so Ford gets pissed and says, we're gonna fucking enter that stupid race that they win every year, we're gonna fucking win it. Well, they hire Shelby because he's one, and they're like, you have a car company, make us the car, do the thing. Well, as they're doing that, Ford creates, because Ford's like a big business company, right? There's fucking managers upon managers that have different departments. And so he basically assigns the business head for that department to Shelby. So he doesn't even really like trust Shelby. He does trust Shelby. It's just that like that's how businessmen and executives they work. They work to weasel their way into certain positions so they can make themselves look good. And this guy basically did that and would screw Shelby at like every turn. Like Shelby's just trying to do what you paid him to do. And the executive's like, let's do this to the car instead. That makes no fucking sense. Or you know what? Because like the driver that was best suited for the car was actually somebody who had worked on the car and helped to make it what it was. And they didn't like him because he was British and he had just kind of like a fuck you attitude, but he was really good at doing his thing. And the executive pushed every button to make sure that he wouldn't win at every turn. And my point in all this is that that's what they're basically doing in the movie industry. And it sucks because like as fans, we're such big fans of this material. We just want a little bit better quality version of what you had already done. And they get these movie executives in there. They're like, oh, you know what? Let's do this. Let's change it. So that way it leaves my personal mark on there. And it's like, nah, man. Like, to me,
personal mark.
Yeah.
Get your personal mark out of here.
Exactly. And they think to do so many good things. And like, that's why, like, and I don't want to hate on it because I do kind of like it. And I appreciate what they were trying to do with the Ghostbusters remake. Not the newest one, but the one with Melissa McCarthy. And and I appreciate what they were trying to do, but it was too much. It was too much changing from everything. It was that original movie when it was written. It's silly in its own way, and the jokes and everything were its own thing. And they were just trying too hard to push to change to like we're gonna do our own thing too. And it's like
it was,
and
I'll be honest, it was Bridesmaids with ghosts.
Yeah, which I love Bridesmaids. Like I love what they're doing,
At the same time, like that's all it was. It was Bridesmaids, but with ghosts. That's really all it was. And it's kind of like, no.
Yeah.
Like, do better. Just do better.
This is where almost like newer original content needs to kind of, I think, also start coming out. Because I feel like we haven't gotten a lot of good comedies in the last few years. We've really been doing a lot of action movies. Yeah. And so,
with everything going on with, the strike and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, I know.
That's a whole other thing. But then at the same time, it's like Netflix and like the streaming services have pretty much taken over life because nobody has regular cable anymore.
No.
So it's not like we're getting regular cable TV shows. So everybody's moving to all these streaming services and stuff. But it's like, some of them are really good.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I don't feel like we're getting good quality stuff anymore. I feel like they're just like pumping stuff out all the time. Like, how fast can we get this done and get it put on like Netflix? Like,
no, I agree.
It seems like they're really taking the time to make movies or shows or anything.
Yeah. No, I've been watching. So, I've been watching the new Secret Invasion show that Marvel put out, and honestly, besides Loki, I did like Hawkeye. I will say that. But all the other ones,
I said Hawkeye is very underrated.
Yeah, it was good. It was funny. I liked, dude. The what's her name? The new girl that takes over Hawkeye's persona, and
Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah, and the girl that plays the next Black Widow.
Is it her sister? Like
it's Natasha's sister, or like sister, like.
Yeah, I
can remember
her
that.
Name right now off the top of my head,
but
I love her.
their banter.
I love her.
So funny in the show. Yeah, it was great. And so to me, it's like they only did a few of these really like quality wise, as far as like cinematic, they look great. But as far as like a good story, I'm like, it just feels so wasted. Secret Invasion, it's interesting, but it lacks a lot. Like honestly, I feel like they're just kind of like using these different ways to kind of get rid of characters, or kind of like, okay, we did this, we can move on, whatever. She-Hulk had a lot of potential. It's cute, but it's not great. Like,
I never
no,
we did. We did like those couple of like that one episode on it or whatever. I watched a couple of the episodes, and I lost interest. Like,
it's not
immediately. Like I just no.
Yeah, it just.
It's gonna be a no for me, dog.
I know, but I do think this. I think that Deadpool 3 is here to save the Marvel universe. I think it's gonna reset a lot of things and put things in motion. I keep hearing rumors of Channing Tatum finally getting to play Gambit. I'm excited for that. Because he I don't know if you know, if you fully developed a Gambit movie, and like there's a Gambit movie out there somewhere, and it never got put out. And he headed the whole project, he did the whole thing, he's been trying to do it for years, so I'm excited.
I enjoy Channing. I think he is actually quite talented. I feel like most people don't really think that about him.
He's actually very well rounded.
I think he is quite talented. But I don't see that one.
No.
So I'd have to see it
Okay.
to like, I guess, understand and appreciate it. Because in my brain right now, I am, and this is, again, like I said, or like I already said, he's very talented. Okay. But in my brain, all I'm seeing is Gambit doing Magic Mike shit in my head.
That's funny.
It doesn't.
No, yeah. No, it's tough. Yeah. To me, once
It's like what's his name?
oh yeah, I remember that. You like the guy from Wolverine that played Gambit, right?
Yeah, no, I like that guy. I was trying to think of his name, Virginia, when he was on the the space movie about Mars. What was his name? What's the name of that movie? Is it John Connor?
Oh no, yeah. I think so.
What they call him Virginia because
Yeah.
he's from Virginia and he's there with all the aliens and shit. That guy.
Okay.
That's what I think about him.
I don't know. I've seen like I've seen renditions of him, like, because he said if he played Gambit, he would be in the original Gambit suit, which is the thing that comes around his face and the thing. I'm like, okay, and it looks. So what Gambit does, and I don't think people really understand what it is, because so what he can do is, you know how he has the cards. The reason he has the cards is because they're very easy. He can throw cards. He's a master card thrower, so it's easy for him to throw them. And the reason that he has his power is basically he can take kinetic energy and imbue items with the kinetic energy. So it doesn't have to be cards. It's just the easiest thing for him to carry and throw. So that's why he uses cards, but he has been known to use other things as well.
It's like he has like removable telekinesis.
No, he just like, imagine like he basically turns items into bombs, and the longer he holds them, the longer he can like put more power into it. So he makes mini bombs out of items,
Okay.
and then he just throws them.
Okay. Because when you said, I'm thinking like telekinesis powers, like he can.
Yeah.
Can he control it?
No. That's why he uses the cards, because he's really good at throwing cards.
Got it.
So that's why he knows how to.
And then he chucks it at you,
Yeah.
and it explodes.
Yes.
Got it.
But he can do it to anything, just the cards. Yeah. And then he's also a master thief and a master, because he was part of the Thieves Guild, but that was like his original like background before he became an X-Men. And then he basically like he was gonna get married with the Thieves Guild to like some other guild. I forget what they were, but they were in love, but something happened, and I think they just wanted to like.
He was gonna marry a whole guild.
No, he was the representative for the Thieves Guild, and the woman he was married was for some other guild of like some other thievery or something, and they were gonna get married, and it was like create a bond between the two guilds. But I think that they wanted to like leave the lifestyle or whatever, and they basically did, and it kind of caused the two guilds to like kill each other, and he like bears that shame, so he never goes back.
Wow, this sounds like a, 16th century monarchy.
Yeah, it kind of that's like his life, like, and it's
Like I was supposed to marry the princess of
Yeah.
this other country, but I fell in love with a peasant woman, and I can no longer marry her.
Doesn't it sound like a plot in Skyrim? Yeah, 100%, right? Like, it sounds like a side quest in Skyrim. But yeah, it was, and it's funny because he's like from the Bayou, so he, like, just like when you see him in the cartoon, which kind of really what fleshes out his storyline. In the '90s cartoon, he wears like, because he's from Orlando or New Orleans, so he wears like the frilly shirts and like all that. He's Credo, so But yeah, is that Creole? It's Creole. My bad. It's Creole. My bad. I always thought there was a D in there.
No, Creole.
Well, oh, excuse me. I'm part. I'm
Credo. That's what you just said. That's the Credo.
That's yeah. No regret. Yeah.
Any regrets?
Not one ever. No. Jason Sudeikis is my favorite. Like legitimately, like
So much.
he's just
So much.
even like his little roles that he plays in anything. Like he played one of the stormtroopers in Mando, and it was for like not even 2 minutes, and I was dying at all his lines. Yeah,
He's just great.
I know.
I love him.
Right? What a treasure.
What a treasure.
It's true. Like, dude, if we lost him, I'd be upset.
He's a national
Oh,
treasure.
that's
okay.
okay.
National.
It's so funny that you bring that up. I
What?
just rewatched National Treasure 1 and 2.
Oh yeah, I didn't, and you were elated, right?
Yeah,
It's
I
so
was like,
great,
why did
right?
I forget that these movies were so good? Like, I think I was annoyed at them because when I was younger, they got played a lot. So
Yeah.
it's like I just watched them too much. And then the other night, I was just on Disney Plus, and I was like, oh, I haven't seen National Treasure 1 in a long time. And then I watched it, and I literally was just like, oh my god, now I have to watch National Treasure 2. And then I watched, which isn't as good as number 1. Like, it's okay.
No, definitely not.
It's okay. The bad guy didn't make sense. Like, I falsified this letter, and it was dumb. He did. He was just a guy with a knife. Like,
He wasn't Sean Bean.
yeah. Like, at least the first guy was like this powerful ex-thief guy.
Yeah,
who,
Sean
like,
Bean.
yeah.
Done is in every single movie he or
Does
show that
not.
or makes because and
He's
it's
always on-
punishment for his name not rhyming as it should.
I'm sorry,
Because
what?
his first name is spelled Sean and his last name is spelled Bean and it's pronounced Sean Bean. His punishment in life is that he has to die in everything that he's in because his name doesn't rhyme like it should.
All right.
You haven't heard
I've
that?
never
You
heard
that
that.
theory?
That's funny,
Yeah,
but-
that's the little theory. It's like he has to die in everything because it's his punishment.
Okay.
His name's not rhyming. But I did the same thing actually the other night. I couldn't find anything to watch. Didn't know what I was going to do.
Mhm.
Happened to be scrolling through Disney Plus and came across one of my all-time favorite movies that I have a tendency to forget about.
Okay.
But The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Oh, okay. I've only seen like the first 10 minutes of that movie.
Jesus Christ, watch that movie.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what? I think when I watched it, I just like, I don't know what about the whole sorcerer thing. Like, and it was more like the way that they portrayed it that I just couldn't like sink my teeth into. And I was like, I have more patience now as a person, so maybe I can like it now. So I want to watch it.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing. Like, pretty much it kind of like, you're basically following Merlin's apprentices.
Okay.
So pretty much kind of what happens is Merlin is going up against Morgana. It's
Okay.
like, ultimate enemy and gets betrayed by one of his apprentices.
Okay.
Okay, because there were 2 guy apprentices and 1 girl. And both the guys were in love with the girl, and the girl chose the other guy, so the other guy betrayed everyone and went to Morgana.
Okay.
So then Merlin, obviously something happens. He gives his ring to Nicolas Cage's character and says, the only person who can defeat her is the Prime Merlinian, and you have to find him. He goes, if you give him my ring, the ring will like come to life basically,
Okay.
and will attach to them, and that's how you know they are the Prime Merlinian. Only my descendant can
Can do
take
that.
her out.
Oh.
Right? So all this happens. He prevents him from aging, for whatever. And it's like 1,000 years later or something. Like, I don't even know how long. And he ends up finding that the kid ends up like wandering into his little shop, whatever. And it ends up being the Prime Merlinian.
Oh.
And all this stuff happens, whatever, what have you. And then they end up getting trapped. The 2 guys get trapped in like a vase for 10 years. Because he makes a joke about, he's like, this vase is ancient. A Chinese man once trapped his wife in here for 10 years. They say if you open it, the same thing will happen to you. So that's what happens.
Oh.
Him and the bad guy get trapped in the vase because he goes to save the kid. So then 10 years later, here's Dave in college,
Oh, he's
just trying to be normal.
Yeah.
And then they get released from the vase and all hell breaks loose.
Okay.
And it's basically the bad guy's trying to let Morgana out.
Mhm.
And then Nicolas Cage's character is literally trying to like protect Dave, but also like protect the world because Morgana's trying to like take over the world. And it's great. It's funny. It's got Jay Bouchanel. I can't say his name.
That's the guy with the
Tall, sturdy.
yeah. Like,
He's
Tropic Thunder.
This is the end.
Yes.
Yeah, so the actor,
yeah.
he's in it. Then you have Nicolas Cage, you have Alfred Molina.
Okay.
There's so many good people in this movie. The girl from Warm Bodies, I can't think of her name, but that girl, she plays like the main love interest and everything.
Nice.
It's so funny and it's so great. And like just like you were talking about, like the little comedic moments are just like perfectly timed to where it's just you get that laugh every single time. Like there's one scene that always makes me laugh where they're fighting another one of like the bad sorcerers or whatever, and they're in like Chinatown or wherever they are, and he turns. There's like little dragon people, and they're walking around with like the little fake dragon thing, whatever.
Oh, okay.
And the bad sorcerer turns it into an actual dragon.
That's cool.
And so he turns it into an actual dragon, and all of a sudden you see they're up in like an apartment building, and Dave's down on the ground and everything, and he's like, "What's going on? Like, what's happening?" And Nicolas Cage's character just kind of pops out the window, and he goes, "Dave, you should run." And the comedic timing is just hilarious, and I love Nicolas Cage in this so much.
Okay,
like,
I'm gonna have to watch it. I'm gonna have to give it this time today.
Blake is his name.
Oh my.
Yes, and he is. I was gonna say magical. Literally,
fair enough.
He's a sorcerer.
Okay.
Fucking great. Old man shoes.
You know, I just watched a show. It's a new show. I saw a preview for it not too long ago. It's kind of along the same veins as far as like being about like Merlin and shit. Yeah. It's a cartoon. It's called, I had to look up the name because the name's kind of, I don't know why. It's called Unicorn Warriors Eternal. Okay. Kind of weird name. But basically, Merlin locks away the same thing, like an ancient evil.
Yeah.
And he basically had these warriors. There was like a sorceress, an elf, a robot, and he's a monk who, like, he's tied to like the fabric of the universe, if that makes, it's kind of it's a blanket statement, but it visually it makes a lot of sense when you're watching it. And so they have all these powers, and they're kind of Merlin basically gives them a quest and says, you have to help me to lock away this evil forever, and until it's locked away forever, you'll come back to life. And so the robot, like anytime they pass away, when the evil eventually comes back, it finds like vessels basically and imbues the vessels with their like souls. And so they kind of become the people again. And they're not really supposed to like remember the new versions of who they are. They're supposed to really become the old versions. Well, it happens to everyone. The monk, the elf, the who am I for? The monk, the elf. Okay, and then the sorceress, he goes after the sorceress on her wedding day. And this is set in like the early like 1800s or, you know, early 1900s, you know, like lanterns and shit. Yeah. And so he busts in on this girl's wedding day, the robot, and like shoots her with the beam. But for whatever reason, she still kind of holds her own persona. But it's mixed, like the sorceress is still like inside of her. So sometimes they argue and like, but it's the first time that's ever happened. And even the elf kind of says like, it's weird because my body is the same like that I need it to be, but something just feels off this time. And so it's just a story about them trying to like get the evil back while they're kind of dealing with all these issues. And the to-be husband of the bride can't let go of her, so he's constantly like chasing them. So it kind of creates like a funny aspect, but also it's a super like original story. I feel like I haven't seen anything like this. And episode 1 visually I was hooked. Story wise I was like and then episode 2 I was like, oh no, I can't stop watching this. It was just really cool show, really cool original stories. And like each episode, even though it's on the like a lot of side quest kind of stuff, and eventually like the boyfriend he wants to be part of their world because he understands they're all weird and shit, so he gets bitten by a werewolf and becomes like a werewolf, like so now he's like, now you have to accept me, like but it's really like interesting if you're into like magic shit and want something kind of different. But it's done really, really cool. I don't know, wasn't sure about it because a lot of these cartoons, they end up looking really cool, but sometimes the story isn't there, and this one really like, I was like, okay, cool. And then the evil ends up being Morgana. Like her and Merlin basically like got together. Because that's always kind of been the thing, right? Like they're together, but also they're two sides of magic.
Like Morgana has always been Merlin's like number one, like, you know, nemesis. Yeah. It even happens in the Merlin show. Like the
I never watched that. Yeah.
hated it at first.
Yeah.
And it's very old school campy. And so I was like, I don't like this because it's so campy, like it's so But then all of a sudden you get invested in the story and you get invested in these characters, and then you actually start to really like it, and then all of a sudden it's over and you're like, what?
Yeah.
Huh? Like, cause it's abrupt.
Really?
Like, cause it's just like you expect there to be. You always kind of expect like a happy ending. This doesn't have necessarily a happy ending. It's just, this is how it ends, and you're like, no, that's not it. More stuff needs to happen. But the way you were describing that other show reminded me. I just watched the other day on Netflix. I watched that Nimona.
No.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. Okay.
10 out of 10 recommend this movie. It's basically a movie about it's like futuristic medieval.
Oh, okay.
It's very cool because that hasn't been done. Like, I've seen, space cowboys, things like that, but never medieval futuristic. Like, there is castles and knights and all this stuff, but they have spaceships and shit, and they fly around, and it's like in the future, but it's totally medieval. It's really, really cool concept. And what ends up happening is like they live in this little like city that's protected because they're so afraid of monsters. So pretty much what happened was there was, I forget the name of the girls. It's like Galadriel, something like that. She's like the town hero because they found a monster, and she stood up to the monster and told her like, go back to the darkness from whence you came. And so they don't trust monsters. Well, Nimona happens to be a monster. And so the main character guy gets outcast because they think he killed the queen, which he really didn't. So he becomes the bad guy. Okay. And so Nimona's like, that's my guy. I'm going to be his sidekick, and we're going to be bad guys together. And it's really cute because she's like, she almost comes off like a kid, but she's like thousands of years old apparently. And so then she like runs off with him and stuff, and she ends up she's like a shapeshifter.
Okay.
And it's super, super cool. And like the visuals on it are amazing because it's like, it's a cartoon.
Yeah.
But it has that like 3D, 2D feel to it, to where it's like, it almost looks like comic booky, or like, what's the other word that I'm looking for? Not comic book, but like a graphic novel-y.
Oh, okay.
It looks kind of like that, to where it like, it looks 2D, but at the same time, it's definitely 3D. Like, it's got that really cool vibe to it. Like, kind of reminds me of like that, the newest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Kind of.
Okay, yeah. I do like the animation style. Yeah, it's cool.
Like that animation style, and it has got a great story. It's really cool.
Okay.
Main character is a gay guy. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a surprise. They don't tell you that. And all of a sudden, you're just like, oh, dudes.
Yeah.
Together. Love that for you. Like, you just didn't expect it. And all of a sudden you were like, oh, they're together. Love.
Yeah.
Love. But yeah, no, it's great.
That's okay.
10 out of 10 recommend Nivona.
All right. I'll have to watch it. All right. I'll check it out.
I watched that and The Outlaws.
Oh.
With Pierce Brosnan. He looks.
I
really enjoyed it. So again, it's one of those movies, though, you have to take it for what it is. It's gonna be a cheesy, like, funny, over-the-top movie. So you have to go into it knowing that. But I thought it was funny. I was laughing the whole time. I thought it was hysterical. Pierce Brosnan is fantastic in that movie.
Okay, cool.
Literally my favorite part. It's in the preview, so it's like, it's not like I'm giving anything away. But my favorite part still, though, is when he's like, do I look cool? And she's like, you look like James Bond. And he's like, which one? And she's like, the fifth one. He goes, oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, okay. I get you. Now, I really want to see that that comedy movie that just came out with what's her name? Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, the one where she like has to sleep with like that kid or whatever?
Yeah. My sister just saw it, and she said it was super funny. And it's like the first rated R comedy we've had in a while. So I'm like, okay, I'm excited to see something like that. So that looks really good. There was another comedy movie that's coming up that I was like, oh, I really have to see that. I forgot what it is. Whatever. But yeah, there's so much stuff to watch as always. But I'm happy that I was able to kind of catch up and like do all that, and I don't feel like I'm not behind anything. Oh, I watched Indiana Jones. It's okay.
Are there aliens in it?
No, it's way better than Crystal Skull, like by far. But it's not better than any of the older movies. And the thing is,
you gotta give Harrison Ford a little bit of credit, though.
It's not his fault. It's not his fault.
In his 70s.
Yeah.
Like 80s? How old is he now?
He's
up
like,
there.
yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think it's that. I think it's that, like, when in the younger Indiana Jones movies, he always kind of like, we want to think of Indiana Jones as good, but he's really underhanded in most of the movies. Like, even in
That's his character.
yeah. But my point is, in this movie, he never really gets a chance to do that because he's older. Mm-hmm. So it's like, that's what I feel is missing from a lot of the movies, is that in these last two movies, he plays an older Indiana Jones, and he doesn't really. One of my favorite scenes in Temple of Doom is at the beginning when they're at the table in the Chinese club, and they're like, he has the gun, and he's very like, like, oh no, you think you're gonna get me? No, I got you. But then it becomes like a whole dance kind of. We never get anything really like that in any movie where he's already older, and I feel like that's the missing element. Is like same thing. Even later when the girl in Temple of Doom is like complaining to him, he's like, whatever, touch, like, he's like such a fucking badass. He doesn't get to be a badass because he's old now, and that's the thing.
Yeah, but I mean, I can kind of see that though, because I mean,
yeah, it would be weird if he's old and he's like a dick. Like,
well, not just that, but like it'd be weird if he's like that old and like still pursuing the adventures on purpose.
Yeah, that's true.
Because in those movies, he's pursuing these things on purpose.
Yeah.
Now these things are just pretty much happening to him because he was involved in that world. So now those things are just like kind of falling into his lap, and he's like, he's literally what's his face from Lethal Weapon. He is too late for that shit. Okay,
100%,
like he's really gotten to that point now where he's just like, fucking stop it, fucking Nazis, fucking over it. Like,
but no, it's a very like good. It's a good film. I think if you get a chance, watch it. Like, I wouldn't go out of your way, but if it's on TV, once it gets to like streaming services, definitely watch it. It's worth the watch. It was really cool to see a lot of the old characters come back and homages and things like that happen, and visually way better than Crystal Skull. That's why I agree with, like, it just, everything about it was
pure disappointment.
Did
you ever hear the little fan joke theory or whatever that Indiana Jones is just Han Solo's dreams?
Which is pretty cool. I kind of like that. It's
a little canon
makes
thing.
room for both, because Indiana Jones young Indiana Jones, I should say, is basically Han Solo without the space, like, which is cool, And he's a bit more of a dick.
Did you see that thing though? They were doing promotional videos and stuff for the newest Indiana Jones, and they did one where they did like a game where it was called, instead of this or that, they called it this or hat, because Indiana Jones can't be without his hat.
Yeah.
And so they were asking all the cast, would you pick this or the hat? And it was so funny to me because Harrison Ford literally only picked the hat once. He picked the hat against the whip. And then any other time they asked like this or hat, he never picked hat.
Yeah.
It was always whatever the other thing was. He was like, why would I pick the hat? Like,
no, Harrison Ford as a person is really, so I'm a huge Conan O'Brien fan, and so they're good friends. And so ever since Conan's been off of the air, he has his podcast, and him and Harrison Ford together in that format, because the thing with the TV is like they only get so many minutes to kind of really banter, and
you have to say certain things.
Exactly, it's forced, And the podcast, especially now that he doesn't have really any obligation besides people that just want to watch it. They kind of get to, it's like them letting their hair down, and they really get to kind of get into the bits and really like, and you really get to see how funny Harrison Ford like very, I don't say this about a lot of actors because I feel like a lot of them aren't creative in a lot of ways, because sometimes if they're not a good actor, they don't add to anything. They don't know how to write, and they don't know how to do more. Harrison Ford is so quick with it. Like him and Conan are just going back and forth, and I'm just like, oh my! It's like just watching like two chess masters just playing a game. Like, you know, it was really cool to see them both go back and forth and kind of insult each other and still kind of talk inside baseball about both their careers and stuff. So I never, like, I always liked Harrison Ford as an actor, but now that I've gotten to see like more of the inside of who he is as a person, how he takes that into his acting and everything, so much more do I like him. It's really, really cool.
I think he's great because, like, it's like I think I've seen him on, because I love watching clips from the Graham Norton show, because I feel like when you go on the Graham Norton show, you get to be yourself.
For sure, because there's less censorship. 100%. Yeah.
Way less. Like, it's like they sit you down on the couch with like 3-4 other celebrities and you guys are just having a conversation.
Yeah.
And I think it's fantastic. And I've seen him on that and he's great on there. But I love him with Adam Driver.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
okay. I was either...
like they've done a few like little like things before together where Adam Driver just gives Harrison Ford shit.
Yeah.
And Harrison Ford gives it back, but at the same time, there have been a few times that Adam Driver has gotten him and he just does his little like grumpy man. It's like, really, kid? Really? Like, it just they're great.
Funny.
I love Harrison Ford.
No, it must be like a British thing, because I feel like what was his name? James the guy that just quit late night? Corden. James Corden kind of did the same. I don't know if you watched his show, but he would actually prefer to have multiple guests stay for the interviews, and he would include like all of them. It was more of a conversation piece than it was just like an interview, you know? So I always kind of appreciated that a little bit more. So I wonder if that's just more their style or something they're more used to doing that they bring here, which again, I liked a lot.
It seems like it, and I prefer that. I think that's better. Like, because then it's like, you get to hear from other celebrities too about something that the other celebrity is in. Like, they get to talk about things, or like, I like that Graham brings up, he's not like, yes, you're there to promote something usually, but at the same time, like, that's not what they're focused on.
Yeah.
They're just focused on having a conversation with you. So it's like he finds other things. He's like, oh, hey, by the way, we found this old picture of you from when you were a kid, and it's just like the most random things. Where it's like, oh, hey, we heard about this, so we wanted to bring it up and talk to you about it. Like, it's just random things, and you're just having a conversation.
Right. I feel like Conan did the same thing, because I don't know if you, God damn it, Ant-Man. What's his name? Paul Rudd. So Paul Rudd had this running bit. He's been doing it ever since he's on Conan's show, where he would go to promote a movie, and then we kind of talk about whatever, and then he'd be like, oh, I did bring a clip with me, and then he sets up the clip, and he plays the clip, but the clip is never the movie. It's always this one clip from this really weird movie where like this kid in a wheelchair is falling down a hill, and then he falls into a lake, and then this alien thing pops up, and then Conan Paul Rudd does a really good job of convincing you like he's brought this clip, but he never has it. Even on he never has it. Even on the very last show when Paul Rudd showed up, he's like, I do have a movie to promote. I promise you I'm not going to do it again. I promise you, like, it's your last show. I respect you too much, Conan. And then does it. And I was like, that's so funny. Like, so I do,
Like, look at us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. I think good late night or good interviewers kind of let you work outside the lines that you're supposed to be in. Because when you do it too much, and I'm not saying that other late night people don't do that. I think those are just, I do like Graham Norton. I do like Conan. I think those are the ones I like the best personally. But something that they bring to it that kind of creates more of an entertainment and lets you get to know the celebrity a little bit more. Because they're like some people, like, okay, I'm going to say this. I like him as an actor. Like, stuff he's been in, I genuinely like. But as a person, I don't know what it is. Like, I don't like Simu Liu. The guy, Shang-Chi.
Oh, okay.
He's been in other stuff too. But
all right.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? His name is Simu.
Okay, I didn't know his name because I thought you were just saying sound. I was like, I thought we were having another moment where you said credo, and I was gonna have to figure out what you meant.
Yeah, his name is Simu, and but something about when he goes on like Jimmy Fallon, I hate every second of it. Sometimes I don't know what it is, 'cause I originally know him not from the Marvel movies, but there was a show that was in Canada that got on Netflix and got big on Netflix. It was called Kim's Convenience. Yeah. Okay. So I love that show. Like, I was so mad when I found out they canceled it. I was genuinely upset. I love his character on it. I love everyone on it. And I was excited when he was going to be Shang-Chi, and I was like, oh, cool. And then I love Shang-Chi, and I'm like, oh,
That's the movie that makes you want to do kung fu.
yeah, right? Like, and I was like, I can't wait to see him, like, on a late night show, because I'm sure I'll like him as a person, and I do not. If I saw him, like, on the street, I'd get his autograph, but
He probably wouldn't give it to you.
maybe not. Not after this. No.
Like, hey, I heard that podcast.
Yeah.
Where you said my name weird,
Yeah.
and you insulted me.
I'm like, you're a holics guy. Like, you didn't even say my name right. Get away from me. Like, no. No, I saw him live at LA Comic-Con a couple years ago, and I was like, he's right
You
there.
afraid to go approach him?
But also, oh no. Okay.
Just the same
No.
way you were afraid to approach May? Is her name May?
Yeah, it's May.
You did.
Your parents? Yes, it's. Look.
Action rang up. Yeah, it's May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look. Leave my future wife's name out of this. She has nothing to do with this. No, I do have the biggest crush on her.
Her life goal. Now, my life goal is to become just amazing friends with her so that I can invite her somewhere where you're going to be and just have you be so uncomfortable.
Oh my god, no, it'd be awful. It'd be so awful. I'm sure you would.
Me and her would just hit it off. We'd have a blast. And then we could just make fun of you all the time. I think it'd be great. I love that for me.
It'd be like the first time you ever see me like shut up ever. Like, no words. We're not really.
You're being pretty
I 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 really.
You're being pretty
Cut down.
It's okay. That's exactly what would happen to me with either Henry Cavill or Tom Hiddleston. I would just complete shutdown. It would complete shutdown. It down. It would just down. It would just down. It would just down. It would just.
Really cool.
I bet Warham or I do like words. would
Oh,
just escape me.
speaking of handsome people, do you know who's getting divorced? I found out this morning. Yeah. I was so sad, but also I was like, yeah, I have a chance. Like, hey, don't, I know it.
Okay, that's like me going, I've got a chance with Joe Manganiello. Like, okay. No.
No, I know, because she, like, super, like, dude, it's crazy, because, like, she's always been successful, but I know she always hasn't had, like, super money. Not that she's about super money, but I feel like she kind of is. Like, I just feel like she's a very successful kind of person, you know? And so you have to have, like, fucking more money than her to, like, or enough money to, like, be like, hey, let's just buy Hawaii. You know what I mean? Like, like enough money to, like, just whatever. I don't think she's superficial. I just think you got to keep up with their lifestyle, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And their lifestyle isn't cheap.
Look, what about Joe? Look at him. He's like almost king of the nerds.
But I think that's what I wonder. So I've been trying to. No, he has money. I don't think it's like a. For them, I don't think it's a money thing. I think it's more maybe like I think she likes to be out doing stuff, and I think he's more of a homebody. That's honestly what I think it is. It's been racking my brain all day. And I'm like, what could it be? He's such a good, like, to me, he's a good actor. He makes good money. Like, he seems like a very, like, put together, like, meticulous kind of guy.
You never know.
Yeah.
Sometimes both people can be great.
Yeah.
They just don't work together.
No, that's true. That's fair.
I mean, it could be so many things.
Yeah.
And you can't really speculate on other people's relationships and what goes on behind closed doors.
No, you're right.
We gather in the public eye, but we don't know how they are when it's just the two
That's
of
true.
them.
Joe, pick up your Dungeons and Dragons things from the floor. Like,
I stepped on one of these damn dice again.
yeah, that's what I imagine it's like. And
And then Sophia's just wandering around in her bikini.
yeah, right. That's yeah. No,
Have you seen her?
dude, she's 51. That's crazy. It's crazy.
Women are not aging the way we used to.
Yeah, that's just nuts.
Okay.
Dude.
Because, like, look at, Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah.
Look at, like, a lot of these, like, women who we grew up watching and everything who are now in their 50s and 60s and all this stuff. Like, who else I got in there? Sandra Bullock. Like,
Oh, I know.
There's so many, like...
To be fair, I imagine that they just. they just go down to like Mexico once a month and they're just like blast the stem cell, Alfred, and then the stem cells just anti-age them.
Yes, they have access to those things,
Yeah.
but not all of them fully do those.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
And I mean, I feel like some of them have waited longer. Like Sandra Bullock, I feel like she waited a very long time before she did anything.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean,
she's definitely doing
bro,
it now. But
in The Blind Side, I was like, when did you get so what? Like you were already hot, but what did you like?
she
It
was
was
blonde in that movie.
yeah, and then
She had that little southern accent. She was wearing them heels. And
it was crazy.
she had the attitude.
Yeah,
That was another thing
Mhm.
that she had in that movie, the attitude.
right.
Because she had that in The Proposal as well.
Yeah, no, she was.
In The Proposal,
Yeah,
she was a boss bitch.
yeah, she was.
And it was real sexy.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I mean, just like, but we're in a different day and age now where it's like we have access to things to help us stay looking younger.
Yeah.
Things like that, and taking advantage of it, man. I mean, who's another one that just popped in my mind? Halle Berry. She looks
Oh, I know,
Are you fucking
right?
kidding me?
Yeah.
This woman?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that again, black don't crack.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, you know. Okay, final thoughts. Frank, you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, man.
Weird random episode today?
You know,
I like these. I
what?
don't know why.
Yeah, cause
I like when we do these weird random ones because I feel like the conversation just kind of flows a
yeah.
little bit better, and we just kind of just talk about whatever, and the next thing you know, an hour's gone by.
I know, right?
Really realize it. So
Yeah,
good
you know,
stuff.
I think
Great deal.
there's a lot of cool stuff to still be coming out this year. You know, what we didn't talk about is there's a lot of scary movies out right now, which is so crazy to me. I know you don't like super scary movies, but there's a lot of cool stuff that's coming out, and it's not even October yet. So more stuff coming out when it gets closer to October.
I mean,
what
we
else?
can do an episode about that, but I won't sleep for about a week.
No,
If we do a scary episode,
we'll
just saying,
maybe
we
we'll
can
do like
see
more
it.
Halloween
We can
themed than
see the
scary.
fear upon my face if you'd like, but I won't be sleeping for
Yeah.
a while. Because I don't do scary. I don't like that.
Fair enough.
I watched Paranormal Activity once. I didn't sleep for like a month.
Oh my gosh.
I was literally terrified that the freaking demon was going to be in my house, and I couldn't leave my foot out from underneath the covers. Absolutely not. Because that bitch was grabbing me and dragging me down the hallway. Okay.
Okay. So no scary nothing for.
It's going to be a no from me, dog.
But you know, there's just so many good things that are still coming out this year. So I'm just looking forward to the plethora of media that we get to cover. So that's just me.
I'm looking forward to all of my trips.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of those. So
Cool.
spending
Alright.
lots of money to go to lots of places. But hopefully I'll make some money on one of those trips because I'm going to the convention. To
Oh yeah,
stuff.
that'll be awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with us.
Yeah,
Honestly, we appreciate it every time. Oh, real quick, shameless plug. Our shirt is on sale.
Buy it.
Nerdholics t-shirt. The link is in our description on all our social media. You can buy it right now. We're doing like sorry, my watch went off. We are doing a giveaway on a PlayStation 5. We've kind of lagged on the information with that. It's still happening. Basically, and we're kind of let's start the clock now.
Well,
So-
I mean, we can't leave out the people who
No,
bought.
whoever's
Those
already
people are
bought.
included, but
But we're gonna be more active about it, more proactive about making sure we're doing stuff. But
we have to have a certain number of entries to even get.
yes, so
So.
minimum 24 entries. So we already have a couple people who bought. So, but minimum 24 entries to activate it, and then from there we can go on. But if you want to win a PlayStation 5 for the price of a shirt, that's a pretty good deal to me. So I'll
Buy two.
right.
What?
And then we haven't figured out like a cutoff date. So I think once we get to the 24,
Then we'll
we'll
figure out.
yeah, we'll figure out a cutoff date, and then we can go from there. But go check it out. It will be in the description on this podcast. So if you're listening on Spotify, you can check it out there. Or if you're watching it, you can look in that description there. Or if you just go on our Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or wherever, it is in the description.
Yeah.
So go ahead, get yourself a Nerdaholics t-shirt, and thank you for supporting us.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all. So.
All right, bye.
Bye.